Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be giving you my Gemini June 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, well, the first thing up is, well, as far as June goes, the sun will be in Gemini from the 1st until the 21st. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, attention, focus on the self, the physical body, especially if this is actually the ascendant. First impression, new beginnings, early childhood, and the outlook on life. And really can be done with a lot of Gemini like animation, vivaciousness in a spirited manner, and even can be done with a lot of versatility and variety and diversity, and done in a very facile and very quick manner. But remember, Gemini energy can also be very superficial. So if you're starting, new beginnings at this time, it might be hard to really do it in a persistent manner. So anyway, well, next thing up is the sun will be in Cancer as far as June goes from the 21st until the 30th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time for Gemini, this could be a very strong concentration of energy, attention, focus on monetary matters, finances, resources, possessions, self-esteem, and self-worth. And done with a lot of Cancerian, like a tenacity and clinging, and really a clinging nature, a lot of emotion and sensitivity. And home and family may figure prominently in these second house matters, such as the self-esteem and possessions. This could be done with a lot of help from the home, people prominent in the home and family life. And also these second house matters may be focused on with a lot of nurturing Cancerian energy. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the new moon will be in Gemini on June 13th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, for Gemini, it's possible that Gemini might rekindle a Gemini relationship from early childhood. It could be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply someone that may embody Gemini-like characteristics. This could be about a new beginning where one may start a Gemini endeavor, such as something connected with communication, such as data communication, satellite communications, writing, journalism. At this time, anything communications related. And also too, it could be a time where Gemini might be trying to doing something new in connection with making a first impression, showing more versatility, being more loquacious, perhaps using better diction when speaking, coming across as more erudite even than usual. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the full moon will be in Capricorn on June 28th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Gemini, this could be a culmination or completion of some kind of business or government related project that might be done in an intimate relationship, or maybe in connection with maybe a business partner, perhaps. Gemini at this time might become rather tired, exasperated, or simply full of a depressing sexual life that might be causing some despondency, or a sexual life that might be rather limiting and restricting. And also, or it could be the completion of some serious psychological evaluation in some cases, or perhaps making a serious major transformation at this time. And it could be in one that was done with a lot of Capricorn-like consistency, perhaps. And also, Gemini might feel a little bit tired and full, exasperated, maybe of restrictions connected with moral and emotional support, and even monetary support at this particular time. And maybe a government, a tax-related issue may come to a conclusion as well for some Gemini people. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Gemini as far as June goes, from the 1st until the 12th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Gemini, well, Gemini might even be more loquacious and talkative than usual, more so talking about manifold things, perhaps pertaining to oneself. It could be pertaining to one's early childhood, and talking about wide divergence of new beginnings, and it could be things connected with Gemini, like things such as communication and dexterity, variety, versatility, and also talking about many ways perhaps to improve the physical body, and especially if this is actually hitting the first house in one's natal chart. Now also too, it may be a time where perhaps the really mercurial or inquisitive siblings and cousins even might be impacting the outlook on life perhaps, and also dealing with inquisitive, inquiring people from early childhood as well. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Cancer as far as June goes, from the 12th until the 29th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So for Gemini at this time, Gemini might be more inclined to speak more emotionally about things of a monetary nature, values, self-worth and self-esteem, and also be able to extemporize in speech regarding second house matters such as values, things of a monetary nature, and how one feels about his or herself, about matters pertaining to possessions at this time. And also it could be a lot of reminiscing in matters connected with the second house. It could be maybe people that made you feel impacted your self-worth and self-esteem, positive or negative. Maybe things that you did previously on a monetary level, and your mind might be very well dominated by things of a monetary nature at this time. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Leo as far as June goes, from the 29th until the 30th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, Gemini might be more inclined to boast about their siblings, their neighbors, perhaps their communication accomplishments at this time. And also too, I mean, they might even come across as a little bit more arrogant than usual in their communications and acting like they may know virtually everything about every subject. Geminis can at least know a little bit about almost every subject, though. And also, too, at this time, this could be a time for Gemini where they might be more inclined to speak with authority regarding third house matters, such as vehicles, what they can do on a communications level. It could be to people that they knew in their early education, perhaps their neighbors, siblings, and if applicable. Now, also too, about really speaking with authority about what they learned perhaps from their early education. Remember, again, Mercury is also about siblings, so this could be about dealing with maybe domineering, bombastic siblings perhaps that might factor into your rational mind, your rational thinking at this time more so than usual. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Cancer as far as June goes, from the 1st until the 13th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So for Gemini at this time, this could be about strong enjoyment of nurturing one's possessions and resources. This could be about valuing love of introversion and the home at this time. And really, and also too, the way this could manifest, this could be where if Gemini is unattached, Gemini might find a Cancerian love or a Cancer love that embodies, it could be a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Cancerian characteristics. It could be at a place where he or she generates income, or this could simply be somebody that really impacts the self-worth and self-esteem very strongly. And a person too, this could also be about maybe valuing home resources and home possessions at this time, and really too, just about it could be where there's a strong enjoyment perhaps of family members at this time who could really impact how you feel about yourself right now, more so perhaps than usual. So anyway, next thing up. Well, as far as June goes, Venus will be in Leo from the 13th until the 30th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So for Gemini at this time, this could be about dealing, perhaps being somewhat extravagant, matters connected with neighbors, siblings. You might be spending a little bit more money on your vehicle, if applicable, in short journeys than usual. Also about valuing generosity with cousins, with siblings, and just generally, and really love. It could be about loving your neighbors with ferocity, that Leo-like ferocity at this time. And also, if Gemini is if unattached, may meet a Leo Sun Moon or Ascendant, might embark a relationship with a Leo Sun Moon or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Leo-like characteristics. It could be someone in their neighborhood, someone they meet during their short journeys, their daily communications, or even somebody that they may have known in their early education. So anyway, well, next thing up is, well, Mars will be in Aquarius, so the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. It will be retro from like the 26th until the 30th. So at this time for Gemini, this could be about expressing a lot of selfless humanitarian energy in connection with in-laws and grandchildren. It could be with foreigners at this time, and also expressing really a lot of innovative energy, perhaps with these people as well. And this could also, the way this can manifest, this could be about having where the situation with in-laws and grandchildren might be a little bit more acrimonious and contentious than usual. You might be angry at their idiosyncratic behavior or vice versa at this time. And also, too, this could be, remember that it's going to be retro for a little part of the end of the month. So it could be about where you might be going back to where maybe you spend some erratic and sporadic energy in something connected, maybe with publishing, for example, or some kind of some kind of project that involved in-laws, grandchildren, perhaps something of a maybe connected with college and higher education. And anyway. Well, the next thing up is Jupiter will still be in Scorpio, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It will be retrograde during the month of June. So anyway, remember, as I've talked about previously, that Jupiter can be somewhat paradoxical. It is really very benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand, and it could very well expand surreptitious, even nefarious activity, perhaps with people in your, in your daily routine, your health life, your work life, perhaps. And also might have a tendency to expand Scorpio health-related issues. It could be something with the pelvic region, your urinary tract, bladder, perhaps. This could be being retrograde, could be going back to a previous issue with one of those things. And also could be, the way this could manifest perhaps is a sex scandal, perhaps unveiled at the place of work and employment. Remember that Jupiter is about luck and fortune though, so this could also be about perhaps going beyond the subterfuge and superficiality, perhaps in matters connected with your daily routine. People prompt in your health life, your employment. Also, too, I mean, if you had a pet missing, in some instances, this could be a time where maybe you went back and you went on a stronger search for it and you managed to find it. In some isolated cases, though, of course. And also, being retrograde, remember that this could also manifest in revealing perhaps a profound, deep philosophy connected with one's health and in employment. So anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn, still in the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Will be retrograde. This could manifest perhaps in restrictions and limitations in 8th house matters, such as maybe insurance, something with taxes, such as being able to pay it, getting a moral, emotional support from others. In some cases, this could be about perhaps taking care of a debilitated or sickly person that may be someone in an intimate relationship that you're involved with. It could be something connected with the knees, the bones, or the joints. And also, and it could be making you feel somewhat melancholy and despondent. And also, too, this could be about a review over serious responsibilities, perhaps connected with taxes. It could be over inheritance or insurance matters. And also, older people might figure more prominently in making a major change or transformation. You could have diminished libido at this time. I actually have this in transit in my chart, in my natal chart, and I could tell you, I mean, basically that mine, the libido definitely has diminished strongly during this time. Usually, also you got to factor in the age, of course, too. The fact that I'm almost 50 years old probably plays a role in that as well, but you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus, and the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So at this time for Gemini, this could be about dealing with unusual, persistent dreams, perhaps a very erratic and sporadic private life. There may be disruptions to one's dreams, and also this could be about expressing some private ingenuity in formulation of new monetary ideas. Privately, you might experience some shocking behavior, perhaps from aunts and uncles at this time. This is also because remember that the 12th house does rule the siblings of the dominant parent, so we're talking about aunts and uncles possibly in this instance. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So this could be about dealing with perhaps a dominant parent, authority figures that might be somewhat nebulous and unclear, maybe dealing with deceptive or duplicitous behavior from them. Your career choice at this time or situation might seem nebulous. This could also be about the dissipation, perhaps, or dissolving of a connection with a dominant parent, with an authority figure, maybe someone prominent in your career, perhaps. And sadly, in some instances, the dissipation, dissolving of one's reputation and public image at this time, and whether it could be through some slanderous remarks. Of course, a lot depends on the aspects that Neptune is making. Say if it makes an adverse aspect to your natal, say your Mercury, for example, that obviously would not help matters, or even Jupiter, because Jupiter can be, when it's negatively aspected, you're talking about exaggerated distortion of energy and perhaps of the truth, and in this instance. So anyway, also, too, on one positive note, the way this could manifest perhaps is doing something Neptune-like that's connected with the career, such as something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Some other things could be photography, chemistry, pharmaceutical work, something that could be connected with illusions, such as special effects. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is Pluto will be in Capricorn. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So I know a lot of you don't want me to say this, but the dreaded D word. In some cases, this could could be about the literal death of perhaps somebody that you could be in a sexual or intimate relationship with. I mean, it could be somebody that might be involved, figures prominently in your taxes. If you have a tax examiner that you've done taxes with, or perhaps for some time, or somebody you know through insurance. But this could also be, in some cases, the death or figurative death and obliteration, perhaps of taxes, having to deal with that, or some insurance matter might come to a conclusion that might have been going on for some time. Also, too, there could be some power struggles in connection with shared resources if you have some kind of joint business account with somebody. Also, the way this could manifest, sometimes this could manifest in surgery, and it could be something connected with the knees, the bones, or the skin at this time. This could be an opportunity where one may eradicate credit card debt But on some negative instances, I mean, you could have, this could even be about destructive psychological issues at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, the North Node will be in Leo still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Gemini, this could be when the North Node is in transit, the way this could manifest, this could be about having to perhaps confront and address issues. Now, in this case, it could be about having to confront a domineering, overbearing, arrogant, bombastic, maybe sibling or cousin or neighbor at this time, someone you may know in your short journeys. This could manifest in taking pride and dignity, matters with transportation, and really showing perhaps the generosity, being magnanimous in matters with siblings, with cousins, with neighbors. Perhaps it could just be giving people errands, doing short journeys, taking short journeys for others. Also, too, about maybe the way this could work out is really being directed toward perhaps creative writing at this time, and also about getting perhaps some accolades or recognition and attention for maybe your communications work. If you're a writer, especially things that you do in a connected with communications, with your writings perhaps, and maybe things that you do perhaps for siblings, for cousins, possibly for neighbors, and getting that maybe that attention for that. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, the Black Moon Lilith will still be in Capricorn, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Gemini, this could be about perhaps dealing with a in some cases, it could be the revelation or unveiling of someone you're in an intimate relationship that might be showing ruthless, tyrannical, overambitious, and very callous qualities at this time. And remember, when the Black Moon Lilith, we're talking about that, this could be about something that could put us in a strong state of fear or trepidation. And in this case, this could be about perhaps losing authority over a shared resources situation or some kind of joint business account. And also, too, when we're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, the way this could manifest is about something that becomes unveiled that you didn't necessarily want to have revealed. In this case, this could be about the unveiling or revelation of some kind of depressing sexual life, or maybe very limited, restricting situation you have in terms of getting moral, emotional support, and even monetary assistance from others. And it could also be about perhaps a formidable Capricorn adversary may be unveiled or revealed. It could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. It could be somebody that maybe was prominent with your taxes, or somebody in a shared resources situation, a sexual partner, perhaps. This is anyway. Well, the next thing up is last but not least. Chiron will be in Aries, and the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Gemini. So remember, Chiron is it could be about our emotional wounds and suffering we may go through. And the way this could manifest for Gemini, this could be a period of going through some emotional wounds and suffering connected with contentious and acrimonious, even maybe combative situations with friends, acquaintances. Perhaps not showing initiative and enterprise in terms of goals and aspirations, and maybe group situations, or even acerbic dealing with acerbic situations in groups and organizations at this time. And also, too, I mean, in some cases, truculent behavior could impact your friendships, your goals, and your future. Perhaps, and it could also be about not capitalizing on things that could impact your future in a positive manner. But remember that Chiron, and also too, this could be about a lack of worthiness in connection with friends, such as, for example, maybe not feeling worthy of being someone's friend, or you feel no friend, nobody thinks you're worthy as a friend. or even a sense of not belonging, perhaps to some kind of group or organization, almost like the outcast kind of feeling. But the thing is, it could be more about just, I mean, well, it could manifest that way because, as I stated before, it could be about feeling left out in terms of friends, and really thinking that maybe nobody thinks you're worthy as a friend, or it could be that maybe there's no group that you might actually belong to either. So, but remember that given that Chiron is the wounded healer, in ways that you may be having difficulty and going through emotional suffering in connection with Chiron and Aries and that 11th house, you can help others perhaps with dealing with comparable situations, and do so with a lot of areas like enterprise, initiative, fortitude, courage, and aggressiveness. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Gemini June 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Cancer June 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.